Hello, everyone. News Channel 3, Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson with a Facebook and YouTube, or YouTube and Facebook, live update on this Tuesday night, which is a little bit of an active Tuesday night for for a somewhat different reason than Monday was, Sunday night, Monday morning, let's say, anyway, and even last night to some degree, but a very active night nonetheless. We have some of that snow coming down right now. With a winter weather advisory that I'll get to in just a few moments, going to let some folks get into the room. And then we have not one, but two snowmakers that are zipping across here, riding along the jet stream. I mean, they are flying. And they're going so fast that they really can't, they're not even going to stick around long enough to deposit a lot of snow over us, to leave a lot of snow behind. So that's sort of a good thing. But they will come with a little burst of wind. So there's going to be some wind blowing some snow around. And as noted earlier, I do think that we could see 2, 3, 4 inches of snow. Here's the way it's set up. 1 to 2 to 3 inches for two of those systems. And so on the low side of the snowfall, I think 2 inches is fair. Shinnis Joe, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. K&M in the house. Good evening to you too. Thanks so much. And on the upper side, maybe up to 6 inches of snow. But that's going to be over essentially two systems and a day and a half. As I'll show you on the hour by hour, this is expected to wind down by the time we get to, I would say, shortly after midnight on New Year's Eve. I wouldn't be surprised if when we hit the clock strikes midnight and we start 2026, if the bulk of the snow is done and we just have a few flurries. But we're in the midst of the first of the two snowmakers right now. This will wrap up before we even get to dawn tomorrow. Then we'll have a short break, and then in the afternoon tomorrow, the second one will move through. But again, remember, they're so fast, they're moving so fast that they won't be around for very long, but they will give us a shot of some snow twice over. Kenny, hello to you. Thanks for checking in. Shinner's Joe, I get it. I think a lot of people already are. And for good reason. We have had a bit of a snowy start to the season, but we're just getting this thing underway, right? Good evening to you, Joanne Barb. Watching from Colon. Okay, that's, I guess, I don't know how that is compared to Jamaica, but I'll take it. Jacob, hello to you. And Shannon, good evening. Happy New Year to you too. Pam, I hope you have a great night, and I hope you're safe tonight. I hope everybody is safely inside, get under a blanket, and warm up. Judy, hello to you. Thanks so much for being here. It is still very cold out there. Hey, Tammy Sue, I haven't seen you in a little while. So very cold for sure. Gary, how far east on the snowfall? Well, I think these shots are going to go all the way over to the east side of the state. I don't think that there'll be as much, but I think the snow is going to continue to go eastward too, all the way over to the east side of the state. Janet Bill, that crazy blowing snow, not an easy travel day. No, that's for sure. The superflu, yeah, I would agree with that. I have a touch of it myself. Carla, good for your grandson. Oh, and it doesn't look like he shoveled. Oh, don't tell him that, though. Craig, yeah, another couple of disturbances, I'd call it. Another couple of disturbances. Happy New Year's to you. New Year to you, too. Appreciate it. Judy, probably, I would say 2 to 4-ish in the BC area. Quincy in the house. Ken, thanks. Almost got 2 already in Comstock. I know there's already a quick couple of inches that have come down. Jeanette, hello to you. Melody in Union City. Good evening to you. Janelle, thanks for being here. Lily, good to see you. Peggy, I'll get to that. Let me get right to it right now while people are in the room here. Let me squeeze this back and we'll begin our weather journey here. We have a winter weather advisory. It's not for everybody. I'll show you who's involved in it. We have 2 snowmakers. We're under the first one right now. This one's going to be ending in just a few more hours. It's not going to last very long. So, for example, Comstock already with a couple of inches on the ground. I think that we might have a good 1 to 2 inches already on the ground at the News Channel 3 studio. But it's about to wind down. And then we're going to have a quiet time. In fact, tomorrow morning, I don't expect there to be a lot of snow coming down. Now, the roads might not be in great shape, but I don't expect there to be a lot of snow coming down at daybreak tomorrow because storm number 1, disturbance number 1, I don't really want to call it a storm. It's not that organized. It's not that impactful, but it's going to be zipping right through, giving us a shot of snow. And then there's going to be a quiet time before the next one moves in. And it's going to lead to a very cold New Year's Eve and a cold New Year's Day. All right, let's get into that winter weather advisory. Here it is. You see the counties. We'll work ourselves from the south to the north. So we're going Kalamazoo, Van Buren, Barry, Allegan, Kent, Ottawa, Newaygo, Muskegon, Oceana counties, right on up. In fact, you can sort of see a little tinge of pink there under that advisory banner. That's where there's a winter storm warning. Up in the far north, not far north, up north, let's say around Traverse City, northward up toward Petoskey, Charlevoix, that's where there's a winter storm warning, expecting a little bit more snow out of this. But in our zone here, in this advisory area, 2 to 6 inches. And I would say this, if you're going to go 2-3 inches, I would say that would be widespread. I mean, you could include, I think, more in that winter weather advisory. But for the amounts of 4, 5, 6 inches, I think that it's fair in that advisory area that between the two systems. Remember, it's a 1-2 punch coming here from these two systems. Now, here's a little added extra element, and that is that it's going to be breezy. In fact, tomorrow the winds are going to be kicking up. I think they're going to be gusts 20, 25, maybe even up to 30. Should issue a Herbie Kirby alert there. And that's going to be blowing the snow around. So that's going to create hazardous driving conditions. And with temperatures staying below freezing, I mean, we're starting off in the low 20s. We're going to top out in the upper 20s. So we're staying below freezing. You got some of that snow that's going to be blowing across the roads. It's going to be sticking to the roads, and it's going to create some slick spots out there, as well as some visibility issues too. So that's why we have that winter weather advisory. Coldwater, hello to you as always. Peggy, I'll tell you that how much more snow. I'm going to have to get to it here and get away from the roll call. I apologize for that. You know how I love doing the roll call. All right, live Doppler radar. And this is the snow that's moving across the area right now. Where you see the darker blue is where it's a little bit heavier. I think there's been some heavier stuff around Milwaukee south to the northern suburbs of Chicago and even downtown Chicago right now, seeing some heavier snow. I think I did. Okay. I did squeeze this out just a little bit. Now remember, there's going to be a little lake enhancement here. And that's why I think that there could be some of those higher end totals. When we talk about 2 to 6, I would say the 4 to 6 is more likely to be west of US 131 in the snow belt because of that. But this is just a fast moving disturbance, a clipper system, right? We talked about that. What is a clipper? Well, called an Alberta clipper. They're just given that name because a lot of times they're areas of low pressure that form in the lee of the Rocky Mountains in the province of Alberta. They intensify rapidly and then they run right along the jet stream. I mean, they're just blowing along on the jet stream. This one is riding the jet stream. That's why it's moving so fast. But they intensify pretty rapidly. And so as they oftentimes will dive down that jet stream that's taking a big dip, which we call a trough, that's over the Great Lakes. And so it's riding, you can see it riding right down into the Great Lakes, riding right over us. As it's intensifying, it's going to be bringing a burst of snow, and it's going to be bringing some gusty winds. It doesn't last long, but while it's here, of course, it leaves its calling card. Now, right now, the visibility, this is one way, a very good way, I think, that we can check and see how heavy the snow is. When we have visibility below a mile, that's some pretty decent snow. When we get close to a mile, that's some good snow too. So 1.3 in Kalamazoo, so about 1.3 miles in Kalamazoo, 1.5 miles in Holland, 2 miles in Battle Creek. So you can see where we've got some of that heavier snow right now. Now notice Sturgis and Coldwater right now reporting 9 and 10 miles of visibility. So let me go back to that radar, and there you can see there's Sturgis and Coldwater, maybe a little bit of light stuff coming down right now. But the heavier snow, according to our radar returns, is actually coming, I believe, to our south. It's actually coming to our south. But we're still going to – we've already picked up, I think, an inch or two, and I could see us getting another inch overnight. So let's go to the hour by hour because that's what you want to see. All right, I'm going to start you here off at 11 o'clock. And notice the snow is pretty widespread, temperatures in the low to mid-20s, so we're certainly below freezing. Now let's run this clock forward from 11 o'clock, going to run it all the way to 7 in the morning. And look at that. Remember how I told you this stuff is just going to vanish. Why? Because this is the first system and it's moving out. It's not hanging around very long. And so then you think, oh, okay, good, we're done. We're not done because there's a second one that's running right along behind it. We start to see it at about noon tomorrow. So that's why I say tomorrow morning at daybreak, for the morning commute, might the roads be slick? Yeah, I think they probably will be. But will there be snow coming down? Not a lot, if any at all. But it is going to be a little bit breezy in the morning. That's something to keep in mind. A little breezy tomorrow morning, and that could cause some blowing snow. With this northwest wind, our typical culprits, or our typical suspects, I would say, are going to be our north-south highways. We're talking about I-196 and Blue Star Highway, which were, of course, problems yesterday morning. We're talking about US 131, where it cuts through farm fields in Kalamazoo County, south of, all the way into St. Joe County, south of Kalamazoo to Schoolcraft, and Schoolcraft to Three Rivers. And then north, Plainwell North, all the way up to Wayland there, could be problematic. So just keep that in mind. There could be some visibility issues there, certainly some slick roads. Now, watch what happens. So let's retract just a moment here. We have snow over us right now. Notice I showed you that's going to be ending shortly after midnight. It's not going to be around much longer. And then it's out. And then it's quiet tomorrow morning until about early afternoon. Here comes the next round. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, we have a second round. And it's going to be very much like the first one. Could be a little bit more potent, but I think the key here is it's going to have a lot of the same characteristics. It's going to be breezy. It's going to be bringing some quick bursts of snow, and it's not going to be around long. But it could easily cause some impactful driving challenges. I'm going to take you here from 3 o'clock. I believe I go to about 6. Yeah, 6. Notice here, it starts to get a little more congested there with it as it moves off to the south into northern Indiana. So it looks like it could be more of an issue for the folks, let's say around Granger or the South Bend and Shipshewana and over toward Fort Wayne even and points south. Notice between 6 p.m. and midnight, I'm going to run the clock forward here, stop it here at midnight, things get fairly quiet. So do I think the roads are going to be in poor condition? I think that's a very good chance. I can't forecast roads. Do I think there will be a lot of snow coming down when the ball drops, wherever you might be? No, I don't think so. Our model here shows that there could be a little bit of lake effect, let's say western Van Buren, western Allegheny County, but that's iffy. Okay, the point is most of the areas you can see is going to be fairly quiet. So one snowmaker over us now. It's out of here by shortly after midnight. By dawn tomorrow, if you're going to work tomorrow, your commute very likely will have some slick spots. Just depends on how good the road crews are going to be able to get an upper hand on this, and also what road you're traveling on. But it's going to be quiet tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, it picks back up, but it's gone by midnight tomorrow night. But with each of these two snowmakers, boom, boom, 1, 2, they're going to probably leave behind some slick roads. So that's something to keep in mind. And then by the time we get to 7 a.m. on New Year's Day, Thursday, can't believe it, hello 2026, it's going to be cold, mostly cloudy, but fairly quiet. And then actually, to be honest with you, of course I'm going to be honest with you, I think we're sort of embarking there on a rather quiet pattern. It's going to be cold on New Year's Day and the day after, it's going to be cold. But I don't really see a lot of snow coming down for the next several days after that. So we have to get through these two snowmakers here. The first one we're under right now. The second one will be here and gone. It arrives tomorrow, early afternoon, zipping through, likely gone, I would say by 8, 9 o'clock. So that if you're going to any of the outdoor New Year's festivals, New Year's Eve festivals, I know in Kalamazoo, GR, others, just bundle up. It's going to be cold. I mean, we're talking about winds of 20, maybe some higher gusts with temperature tomorrow evening, around 15, 12 to 15. So we're talking about wind chills outside tomorrow night at midnight, probably around 0, maybe even a little bit below that. So that's something to keep in mind. So that's our outlook there for that. Now, right now it's cold. We have mid-teens, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, upper teens, Hastings, Sturgis, low 20s, GR and Allegan, and mid-20s along the lakeshore, Holland and South Haven, but feeling like the single digits. Woo, boy, 4 for the wind chill right now in Battle Creek. All right, going to get you to your Weather Guard 7-day here. And again, snow tonight, ending overnight. That 100% that you see tomorrow is for tomorrow afternoon and early evening. These systems are so fast. These two back-to-back punches of snow are so fast. They're only around for 6 or 7 hours, but they are intense. These are clippers. This is so characteristic of these clippers, and that they're intense, but they don't hang around for long. But long enough to perhaps each one give us 1, 2, 3 inches each. Times 2, of course, gives us 2, 4, 6 inches of snow in that ballpark. More likely to see the higher end of that spectrum closer to the lakeshore with a little lake enhancement. Cold on New Year's Day. That 30% that you see in there is for some very, very early morning flurries. Otherwise, I just think mainly cloudy and cold on New Year's Day. I do think we'll see some sunshine on Friday. That's good. A little more cloud cover Saturday, but maybe a little sun and some sun on Sunday. Not looking bad. Our temperatures are moderating for next week. If you want to take a look beyond that, I know everybody wants to know, do we have a warm-up? And I would say it does look like we do have a warm-up. And I would say that's going to take us from day 9, 10, 11, we might start to see a warm up, but you know what I feel about that. Don't write that down in pen. I would write that down in pencil, and I'd make sure I have a good eraser just in case. Because when we visit that again at 5 days out, at 6 days out, at 7 days, and then again at 3 days and 4 days and 5 days, then we have more clarity. Why? Because we'll have more consistency. And remember, consistency over time equals confidence, right? So there's that 7-day forecast. I'm sorry I didn't get to the comments. I'm so sorry about that. You know how I want to see the comments and answer your question. Aaron, I don't see that happening. But when we're talking about that far out, if you're talking about next week, I don't see that happening next week as in the next 7 days. But if you want to go out 9 days, 9 and 10, I still don't see it showing up. But things change wildly once you get past 7, 8 days out. Really, once you get past sometimes 5 and 6 days out. So I don't have a question for that. Making the trek down to, where did I miss it? I missed it. Oh, to your area of the world tomorrow. Hopefully decent roads along the way. Yeah. If you can go later rather than sooner, David, I think it'd be, yeah. Just take your time. Because I don't know what condition the roads are going to be on or will be in the morning. I know that right now they're not doing great. I know I just took a little trip not too far from News Channel 3 to grab something really quick in the to-go line for dinner, and I've all-wheel drive, excuse me, and I was glad I did. So it can be a little bit dicey out there for sure. Terry, Happy New Year to you too. Jacob in Battle Creek, thanks. Ken, always good to see you. Lori, hello to you. Live in Kalamazoo, roads are much better, close to normal. Okay. Michelle, chilly in Orlando. Been 78 to 80 for a week. Hey, I'm headed down that way. In fact, flying into good old MCO here in several days. But my sister, who is not too far away, north of Daytona, tells me that they didn't get out of the 40s today down there. I know they're a little north of where you are in Orlando, but still, they better warm that up. I'm not going down there for more of this cold stuff. Although it was funny, if I can just share with you something real quick. She said, I just want to let you know it didn't get out of the 40s today. I took a screen grab or a screenshot from my phone of our weather app that said 16 and snowing feels like 4. And I was like, 40s are okay. Thank you very much. Just a reminder, it's all in perspective, right? K&M, 2.5 in Parkview. Thanks for that. Marquette's crazy. All of the UP, but like Marquette, Negaunee, yeah, nuts up there. Nuts. Maryland Portage, about the same. I would give it 2 to 4, but there could be some outliers west of Portage toward Matawan that get a little bit more than that. Lori, hello to you in Galesburg. As always, Cher, good to see you too. Thank you so much. And you are right. And thank you for yours too. I appreciate that. Cold and snowy in Pennsylvania. Richard representing the Keystone State. You're in it with us, right? Cheryl, hello to you. I think you might have even had a little more wind over there today than we did. Do you see those winds in Buffalo, by the way? That was crazy. Crazy. I mean, I know Buffalo is known for craziness, but that was pretty crazy. I think I saw a gust of 80 plus there with freezing spray coming off of Lake Erie. Yeah. Coffee, tea, hot cocoa. Yeah. And for me, maybe some chicken soup. You think you can hear it? Like, right? I'm battling it right now. Cheryl, hello to you. Sharon, good evening to you. It's cold, not sure what to do on New Year's Eve. Well, I would say this. You can still go outside and enjoy it, right? Just make sure you dress for it. And that means, some good gloves. I would wear earmuffs. Oh, but I wear earmuffs. To me, this is the worst when this is cold. So just make sure you're dressed appropriately for it, Yeah, that's true. I agree with you there, David. I hear you. But, two different sets of eyes, two different decision makers, and sometimes two different decisions. Two different decisions. Betty, Happy New Year to you. And Delton, thanks so much. Martha, I am. I'm not getting one. Martha, I think I've got one. Jesse, good evening to you from the Berg. I hope you're careful out there too. Barb, nothing, good point. Nothing yet for the counties closer to the Michigan-Indiana line. We'll let you know if that changes. It's just this is the human element to it. And like I said, you've got some folks who are in one office, some folks who are in the other office, and they might have different takes on where the criteria are. I mean, the criteria is a criteria, but there is some latitude there for saying, like, how impactful is this event going to be? So, they're looking at forecast model data, and they're considering their terrain and their territory as well. So stay with us. And I will say this, for example, even in Calhoun County, which is not in the advisory area, and that's the GR, National Weather Service Office, right? It doesn't mean that once you get out of Kalamazoo County, you're going east on I-94 and you hit exit 92 and everything's going to be good. No, it's not, right? We're going to have some tricky driving conditions, I think, all around. It's just that there's going to be more impactful snow in that advisory area. Chesterland, Ohio, in the house. Robert, thanks for checking in from the Buckeye State. Going to get 15 to 20 inches of snow between now and Thursday afternoon. Coming off of Lake Erie. Yeah, I could see that. Johnny, thank you so much. Thanks. Hey, I got to tell you, Johnny, that's why I like being on here, because obviously I get 2.5 to 3 minutes. I sometimes take a little liberties with that, but the producer has to keep me in line. He or she's got like a dog leash on my time there, and my little earpiece, and it's like, it's time to shut up. So I have more time to talk about the weather on Facebook Live. So in addition to talking about the forecast, it's also, I believe, a chance to interact and also a chance to give my rationale. This is what I think is going on. For example, it's a very good question. Why are Branch, St. Joe, Cass, and Berrien counties, Hillsdale, not in the advisory area? And so I get a chance to explain that a little bit, So I really like that. Lauren, lake effect's going to add a little bit to it, I think. Tyra, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. No, I mean, I think we are still in a weak La Nina, because those are things that are measured. But the effects, it's not a 100% correlation between a weak La Nina, for example, and whether we're going to have a lot of clippers, for example, or whether we're going to have what I would call a trophy winter, where it's just like huge polar vortex type cold air, that sinks down over the Great Lakes. And I will say this: I follow some other Twitter folks who are much more adept at looking out into the future and looking at some of the triggers there out of the Pacific Ocean, for example, with oscillations that go on out there with pressure zones that are suggesting that January might end up being a very cold month for the eastern 2/3 of the country, east of the Rockies. And if that's the case, then it's going to be garden hose city and warmer air, but rain like crazy on the Pacific coast from LA all the way up to Seattle. And then we're going to be getting hit with cold air and a lot of snow. Excuse me. So there's suggestions for that, but we'll see. I don't see any of that in our even our friendly 10 to 14 day, which I don't trust very much. I don't see that. But those are some signals that I'm reading about that might lead to a very cold January. I'd love to stay here and talk a little bit more, but I got to go, and I can't listen. I mean, I can't talk to everybody. I'm sorry about that. Joanne, hello to you. David, clear your driveway again. I get it. Just cold, Jesse, for tomorrow night for New Year's Eve. Chad, the plow truck didn't have his plow down. Oh, no, that's true. I'm sorry about that. Lily, thanks for the thanks. I appreciate it. I'm missing so many comments, and I apologize to that, you guys. Ashley, Muskegon had way too much snow already. I heard over 30 inches. I think you've had more than that. I'll have to go look at your climatology. report out of the Grand Rapids Weather Service office to see. But I can tell you this, with the 4.5 inches that we got yesterday, and we're looking at probably about another 1.5 inches, maybe 2, we're up over 36 inches at News Channel 3 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you have more than that. Lori, rather have a blizzard than a tornado. I have to say, I'm with you on that one. These snowstorms and these winter systems are inconvenient as heck, but they're sort of slow movers, and usually somewhat predictable, plenty of warning, right? As opposed to severe weather in the spring and the summer and the fall. And so I'll take this. Kelly, winter is great. Sarah, hello to you. Happy New Year's Eve. That's right. And good to be here, right? Rocky, Sunday a lot worse than the flooding from the rain. East Michigan it was crazy. It was crazy. Barb, thanks for that. I appreciate it. I would take this instead of a hurricane for sure. Jeanette, hope you have a great new year as well. Hey, by the way, I am going to be here tomorrow night. So I'll be here at 9 o'clock. So we can chat one last time in 2025 if you're there. Heading to Northern Indiana tomorrow morning. I would just, Rebecca, I would say just know, just use your noggin and drive carefully. This isn't debilitating in the sense that there's so much snow. It's just the wind's blowing the snow and the moisture content is sticking to the road, and I think it's slick. So just, have your wits about you. Be careful. Make sure your phone is charged. It is true. It's smart to have a kit in your car, with a blanket, things like that. So, but yeah. And I will say this, I think the later you're able to leave, Rebecca, probably the better if you're going in the morning, as opposed to like if you could leave at 9 or 10 o'clock, as opposed to 6 or 7, I would. But even then I would check our weather app, our free weather app, and then also watch tomorrow morning. Colin will be here. We'll have road reports. Our news team will be out with road reports too. Vicky, I am getting sick. Thanks. I don't think I'm getting there. I think I'm there. I know I'm not supposed to be here, right? Have a happy and healthy New Year. Thank you so much, Vicky. Brian, Happy New Year to you too. Wilson, thank you so much. I will say this. I did have a doc appointment today. And for the first time, going to the cancer pavilion there at Bronson, the cancer center, and for the first time in a year, not going there to get a needle in my arm or getting any kind of treatment. They're just for a consult on the latest CT scan that I had, which came back good. So I'm very grateful for that, very thankful for that. Sarah, I'm thinking of you. Excuse me. It's very good to be here. I am going to take care of that cold, and I think I'm getting worse here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go home. I'm going to slug some NyQuil, and I'm going to crash for several hours. That's what's on my agenda. Heather, northbound near Saugatuck is shut down. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because of that truck accident yesterday. You know what? I-196. When we get that wind blowing, the snow across the highway, treacherous. You're right, Heather. And I think that bridge is going to be shut down for a while. That's the story that we had on it today, that MDOT is like, we've got to check out that bridge to make sure it's still safe. So that detour around Saugatuck is probably going to be there for a little while. So keep that in mind if you're headed that way, folks. Back roads in Bloomingdale, icy. I think that's the way it's going to be on all the back roads. And on some of the big highways too. I think it's going to be that way. I think it's going to be tough. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind whenever you head out. Judy, thank you. And Rebecca, thank you. Call Will in for him. He'll be here on Saturday. And then actually I have a few days off. So I'm limping to the finish line, right? But I'll get there. Put more onions in your food. Okay. Why not? Right? Why not? Won't hurt. Thank you very much, Joanne. I appreciate that. Sarah, whiskey and tea is good. I'm told I can't do the first part, though, while I'm at work, so I better not. Isn't that I feel that sort of was what NyQuil is. Lori, thank you so much. Share vitamin C and tea for sure and chicken soup. I know I need to overload on that vitamin C stuff probably, and zinc pills or some zinc tablets. But Trenton, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're so kind, and I mean, it means a lot to me, and I appreciate that. Kathy, thank you for that. Ashley, Mother Nature likes making all of us sick. I would say that's true. Jesse will say happy birthday to your friend Jack and Brenda. Lots of water. You're right. We'll work on that. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for your well wishes. I got 9:38, which means in 22 minutes I'll be live. Thanks, Shelly. I'll be live. And Susan, Happy New Year to you too. I'll be live on ARC West Michigan, live at 11 on News Channel 3. My good buddy Colin Rogers is in for Jeff tomorrow, so he'll be live. Must See TV, 4:30 to 9 o'clock. Our news team will have road reports. We're all over it from 4:30 to 9 a.m. Colin will be again with you at noon. Now, get this programming changed because of football, college football. Thanks, Barbara. I appreciate that. Z-Pack. Yes, I know that. I need a Z-Pack, and then boom. 24 hours. It kicks it. Tammy, good evening to you too. Cher, thanks so much. Tomorrow, programming change because of college football. I believe it's called Sun Bowl. I believe it is. We're not on at 5 or 5:30, but we will be on at 6 on News Channel 3 if the football game gets over. It's supposed to. And then we're going to be on live at 10 tomorrow night, not only on ARC, but on the mothership, News Channel 3, because CBS is taking over at 10:30 with a New Year's Eve special, with their New Year's Eve special. So keep that in mind. But I'm still going to be here tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, so we can see each other one last time in 2025 on Facebook Live. Joanne, yeah, that's true. I should do that honey stuff, right? Thank you so much, Candace. I appreciate that. David, I agree with that. 4:30 a.m., the inside of the eyelids. That's what I'm looking at. Good night to you, Brenda. And Betty, thank you so much. All right, so don't forget, I'm on Facebook, WWMT's Keith Thompson. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and what did I miss? X, Twitter, at Weatherman Keith. Don't forget our website, wwmt.com/weather. And I don't have my phone with me, but our free weather app. This is when it comes in handy. Middle of June when it's 70 degrees every day and nothing's happening. But this is the time to have that free weather app. It's very helpful. So if I don't see you tonight on the tube at 10 o'clock, coming up in 20 minutes, or on the mothership in an hour 20, I'll catch up with you tomorrow evening. Remember, we're only on at 6 tomorrow. But I will be here tomorrow night on Facebook Live, and I better be sounding better than this, right? All right, everybody, have a good night. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, if you're out and about tonight or tomorrow morning, take it easy on the roads. And if you're not seeing me tomorrow in the evening, remember, be safe in everything that you do. But there will probably be some slick roads tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon, tomorrow evening as well. But overnight on the 1st, I don't think will be too bad. All right, good night, everybody. I'll talk to you again soon.